Hello, everyone. Semi-retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Today is going to be one of those miscellaneous odds and ends because, as I'm sure you've seen all over YouTube already today, because I don't put my videos out early on days like this, but Keto Chow has launched a new flavor, and they've actually launched a couple of them. I'm going to talk briefly about the one, and the one on the screen behind me is the one I'm going to spend the most time talking about. And this is just a quick little video. Now, this is not a sponsored video. This is just my product review of Keto Chow. First, let me say welcome to all the new people. If you've never been here before, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I don't do very many product reviews because I believe that all you really need to be healthy is to eat meat, add salt, drink the water, and occasionally take the cerule product. It's going to be invisible because it's green, but take the cerule product. If you need to know more about cerule, click the link down below. I'm not advocating that you buy cerule. All I would ask that you do is click the link below, go out to their website, my website with them, and underneath I think it's underneath the About tab, but one of the drop-down menus up top has a link to all the science behind it. So I would ask that you go check out the science and decide for yourself if this is something that you might want to look at. If you decide you want to know more, send me an email, watch the interview I did with Professor K, all that stuff. But today we're talking about Keto Chow. Now, again, as I said in my previous review of their birthday cake flavor, this is an option that is obviously not carnivore, but it is something that we can have occasionally from time to time as a treat, or knowing what we can have if we have to have dental surgery or something like that, to where we can't actually chew through steak and we don't want to be stuck just drinking bone broth for the entire time that we can't chew. So no, I'm not switching to keto. I'm not doing, a full let's drink keto chow for 100 days like Chris did and see what happens. I'm not doing any of that. But because I am associated with Keto Chow as an affiliate, primarily for their electrolyte drops and daily minerals, but they asked me if I would mind reviewing new products, and I thought, sure, no big deal. So the first flavor that I want to talk about, of course, is for the 4th of July. So, they're doing a red, white, and blue thing. So they sent me, of course, some blueberry pie. My quick thoughts about blueberry pie are that it was okay. I'm not a huge fan of blueberries, but it was okay. It tasted like blueberries. It was okay. Their first new flavor, strawberry cream. Now, and they sent me an original strawberry to test alongside of it. So I've done that little test, and I have to state up front that I'm not a huge fan of strawberry, especially strawberry flavored things. I do kind of like strawberries if I'm just eating a couple of pieces of fruit, which I have not done in over a year, but I do remember, I do like strawberries, but I've never really been a fan of strawberry flavored things. So I'm probably not the best person to review the Keto Chow strawberry cream. I didn't notice a huge difference between the original and the new one, but that's because I am not, I don't do a lot of strawberry. So let's talk about this vanilla cream. They sent me an original vanilla and this vanilla cream to try out. Oop, let me get my big fat finger out of the way. And of course, it's because it's a green screen, you get the little invisible logo there. Isn't that cute? But I'd like to say a few things about this. This is really good. But if you recall back to my other review video that I did on Keto Chow, of the starter kit that I got just to try a few of the flavors, the vanilla was my absolute favorite. It was fantastic because I've always really liked just plain old vanilla. And this vanilla cream, it's really good. Now, one of the things that I've noticed, because I'm primarily a high-fat carnivore, so, they recommend if you mix these up, you mix them up with a half a stick of butter. I've been mixing them up with a full stick of butter. I think they turn out wonderful that way. But the one thing I have noticed, because they changed the formula in the newest stuff, it's version 2.8.0, I don't know what all that means, but they changed the ingredients so that there's less of the acacia gum in the newest versions. And the acacia gum is what absorbs the fat and keeps it from separating. And because I do high fat when I'm making up my keto chow shakes that I'm going to have instead of a meal or with a meal, because I do that with a full stick of butter, what I have noticed, the original vanilla mixes up just fine and tastes good. I usually leave them in the fridge overnight so that they get good and shaky like, sort of like drinking a milkshake, only not quite as thick. The thing that I've noticed, because the newer formulas have less acacia gum, in the morning after it's sat all night, a little bit of my full stick of butter has separated out and formed like a little crust on top. So to get these right, I then have to, instead of just blender bottling them, I took the mix out of the blender bottle, dumped it into one of my big pitchers, and hit it with the stick blender for a couple of moments to mix it all back up. And it was wonderful. The vanilla flavor is a little stronger in the vanilla cream. It's very good. I don't know if I prefer the vanilla cream over the vanilla because they're both very good. And of course, because I'm carnivore, I can't taste test them side by side because I got them in these packets and I don't want to use like a half a packet and make a half a shake and a half a shake. So I had them on 2 days in a row and was trying to remember what I tasted in both, and they're both very good. The vanilla keto chow is still my favorite. If I was going to become keto and buy big bags and keep them around the house and do all that stuff and have, creamies and all the other stuff that everybody talks about, I would probably get the vanilla cream. I would have to experiment with cutting the butter back so it stays mixed up, or just exclusively going to mixing it up with a blender stick twice. Once when I first mix it up and then leave it in a bigger jug to get cold overnight, and then hit it with the blender stick in the morning. Because the one thing I want to clarify how I do that full stick of butter, little trick I learned from Hyla, is because these call for, 1 3/4. They call for 1 3/4 to 2 cups of slightly warm water. Well, mine end up being a little bit on the hotter side because to keep the butter from, I don't know if you've ever melted butter all the way in the microwave, but if you do, I discovered for the first time that if you do butter too long in the microwave, it goes poof and goes all over the inside of your microwave. A little trick I learned from Hyla over at Crafty and Carnivore-ish is that if you put some water in the bottom of the bowl that you're melting the butter in, it won't do that. So I've been taking half of the water. I've been taking about a cup of water and cutting my full stick of butter into that, melting that in the microwave. And I've discovered that, once the water starts to bubble, a slow boil, it's done. The butter won't be completely melted, but then if you just set the bowl off to the side and give it a little stir, the hot water will finish melting the butter. But now, of course, you're a little hotter than that. So I put that down into the shaker bottle, put the powder in over top of that, and then add not quite a full cup of cooler water. And then I, of course, shake it up and leave it in the fridge overnight. But if you're going to use the full stick of butter thing like Bob does, you're going to have to, with these newer flavors, you're going to have to mix them up with a blender stick rather than just the blender bottle, because there's not quite enough acacia gum in the newer version to absorb that much fat and keep it absorbed. But I like the formulation with less acacia gum, because the closer he gets this to Carnivore, the better off it is. And for those of you that are going to say, well, it's still just processed junk, I invite you to go to Chris's channel, the Keto Chow channel on YouTube, and take a look at what he spoke about on the low carb cruise. And he talks about the different types of amino acids and fatty acids that you get from meats and the types that you get from plants. And you will discover that there is a product that has the same basic ingredients that you're getting in the amino acid profile and fatty acid profiles by adding your own fat, butter, heavy whipping cream. But the amino acids, the proteins, are much better in this product. They more closely resemble what you would get out of eating meat than what you would get out of eating the highly processed plant-based stuff. But I know this isn't for everybody. And again, I don't use it every day. I don't even, other than the time that I did the birthday cake release and now I'm doing this release, I don't really eat a lot of keto chow. Once every other week or so is what I'm planning on, since I have some now. But this is very good. Once again, vanilla cream, really good. They launched another new flavor today, strawberry cream. And just now through the 4th of July, I've put a new link down in the description. If you click that link just now through the 4th of July, you'll get, I believe, I think it's 15% off instead of 10%. I didn't look at it that closely. They sent me an email and said, here, use this link for now through the 4th for special discounts. So if you're interested in trying keto chow, click the link in the description down below, and I'll put the link in the first comment as well. So check all of that, and if you want to try it, that's great. If not, that's okay too. I understand most of the people watching my channel are strict carnivores, and I highly agree with that. This is just something I'm experimenting with and adding now that I'm basically at my goal weight of 160 pounds. I'm still a couple of pounds over, but it's been basically, I've been fluctuating between 160 and 165 since I got home from North Carolina. So I may end up losing a little more weight at some point down the road, but I'm not concentrating on that. I'm concentrating on body composition. And I wish I didn't have so many ugly ribs from my heart surgery sticking out of my chest, because I'm starting to get enough muscles that I would actually like to show them to you, but we're not going to do that because I think the gross factor of the bottom of my rib cage sticking way out and my sternum sticking out even further, because they had a really hard time getting my chest closed after my heart surgery because I was so fat. It just wouldn't be a good look. So we're not going to do that. I said when I started this channel, you're never going to see me without my shirt on. Maybe I'll buy a tank top style shirt at some point and be able to do that, but I'm starting to get a little flex muscle in there. Certainly nothing like the people like Coach Bronson and Dr. Baker. I don't expect to ever look like that. That would be crazy to think about at my age. But it is worth noting that I am putting on muscle. And so because I'm in maintenance mode, I've been experimenting with a little bit of the Keto Chow product just to see what happens. And I haven't noticed any negative effects from it. But again, it's a treat for occasional use from time to time. It's not something to be added into your everyday carnivore diet or even every week. But knowing something that you can have is not such a bad thing. But that's what I've got for you today, folks. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.